The only local news teams taking action for you. KIMA KEPR Action News starts now.
Coming up this morning on Action News, a Wapato man is heading to prison, convicted and sentenced for a deadly drive-by shooting in 2021. The man was 14 at the time of the shooting and was tried as an adult after his arrest this year. Police believe the incident is a case of mistaken identity. We'll explain. Plus, a recall effort against Yakima County coroner is in the works. On Friday, a local attorney gave the coroner time to resign on his own, but now he's preparing paperwork to begin the recall process. It comes after the coroner got into some hot water over drugs. We'll get you up to speed on that. And a local restaurant is hoping to spread a little holiday cheer with a Bikes for Tykes collection event, looking for anything bike related. Helmets to scooters and even trikes are accepted. We'll tell you where you can donate. That story and more coming up as you start your day with us right here on Action News. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And Jefferson, in the world of weather, that cloud coverage seems to just be lingering around yet again. I mean, we've been in this pattern for a while now, for like the last couple of weeks, only getting a couple licks of sunshine here and there.
Right.
Are we going to get any of that sunshine this week?
Maybe tomorrow afternoon, but we have to get through some active weather first. Today is going to be quite the active weather day across eastern Washington and northeast Oregon. Yesterday was pretty soggy, and today we are going to follow suit. Now, for today, bigger concerns do kind of reside in the fact that we could see some wintry type precipitation, not too much in the Tri-Cities, but as we look out at Yakima, there is a chance that some cold pooling could lead to some accumulating snow for some of us in the Yakima Valley today, so we are going to be watching that very closely. The Kittitas Valley, very similar to the Yakima Valley in that we could maybe see some light accumulating snow on the day. Of course, we're going to talk about that as we go throughout the newscast. Right now, looking out at Yakima, it's a beautiful weather shot, or a beautiful shot from our weather cam this morning, sitting at 35 degrees. Here's a look at your weather headlines today and going forward. Rain and freezing rain, all going to be possible today, along with some of that snow. Again, all in the cards on this Tuesday. We will start to see a brief drying trend really as soon as Wednesday afternoon, but certainly continuing through Thursday. But there is going to be more precipitation opportunities for the weekend. We'll talk about all three of these weather headlines more coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Yakima County. A Wapato man is headed to prison for more than a decade after being sentenced for a deadly drive-by shooting from 2021. Angel Josiah Garcia was sentenced to 15 years in prison for killing Oscar Hundel Lopez. Garcia was 14 at the time of the shooting and 17 when he was arrested back in June. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder after agreeing to be tried as an adult. In June of 2021, Hundel Lopez and his wife were house hunting and stopped in the 1200 block of Cornell Avenue to check directions. According to a probable cause affidavit, a white sedan drove past them and opened fire. Garcia was later identified as one of the shooters. Police believe Lopez's car was mistaken for one used in a drive-by shooting on a fellow gang member's house. An investigation is underway after the Mapton post office was broken into over the weekend, the second break-in in less than 2 weeks. Yakima County Sheriff's deputies first responded on Saturday and then handed the investigation to the Mapton Police Department. However, Mapton's only full-time officer left the department a week ago. The first break-in was on December 4th last week. The city council did hire an interim police chief at their meeting. And a man accused of vandalizing several downtown businesses last week, including the Yakima Police Department, is now in jail. Yakima police say the man has been arrested and is now facing felony malicious mischief charges for breaking windows at Olive Garden, Cowiche Canyon, Chase Bank, a post office, and the Yakima Police Department. So far, no bail has been set, and he's scheduled to appear in court this week. An attorney representing 3 Yakima County voters now has plans to pursue a recall effort against Coroner Jim Curtis. On Friday, attorney Zach Stambaugh sent a letter to Curtis asking him to resign by 3 p.m. yesterday. It comes after Curtis got into legal hot water for alleging he was poisoned, but police later finding out that that wasn't the case, and Curtis then later admitted to using drugs 3 times a week, taking them off dead bodies. With no resignation notice, though, attorney Zachary Stambaugh says he's preparing the paperwork for a recall and plans to send it to the county prosecutor by this Friday.
I'm a citizen of this county and I want a functioning coroner's office. I've had probate cases where we relied on the coroner's office. Ultimately, a coroner is a professional witness and their credibility is 90% of their job. Unfortunately, Mr. Curtis now no longer is going to be able to get back to there.
Right now, there is no timetable for when a recall vote could take place or even if it would appear on a ballot, considering the many steps that have to be taken. And for many folks across the Tri-Cities, commuting across the Blue Bridge this year has been quite the task if you're on a time crunch. But that's about to change. Leaders with the Washington State Department of Transportation tell us the nearly year-long project to repaint the bridge is coming to an end, ahead of schedule. They also say drivers will have a smoother time during their commute.
Along, we've been saying late 24 to early 25 for the Blue Bridge project, which has been a long project, but well worth the wait because the painting and containment removal is complete. That means not only good news that stuff's complete, but the daily lane closures are no longer needed.
Now, while the gray beams along the center may look new for longtime locals, WashDOT leaders tell us it's the same color scheme as before the $33.5 million project began. Efforts now shift to cleanup mode to get heavy equipment back to the East Coast, which is expected to wrap up sometime next month. And the Kittitas Valley Healthcare Foundation contributed more than $500,000 to Kittitas Valley Healthcare in 2024. The contributions total almost $511,000, and the money has been used to enhance patient care and support essential services. Foundation members say they couldn't have done this without generous support.
We could not have done it without the generosity of the community. It was really the community stepping up for years, not just today and not just yesterday. This is going back years that we've had donors that just continually support us. And it's through that giving that we were able to grow and to keep supporting KVH. So the community has been a fantastic partner in supporting local healthcare and making sure we have the resources and the tools to support KVH.
Many different departments received money for equipment or services. To find the full list of departments and what each received, you can visit our website, KIMATV.com. Hops and Drops restaurants in both Kennewick and Richland are collecting bikes for children this Christmas. The initiative, called Bikes for Tykes, they say they're looking for new bikes, scooters, helmets, and trikes. You can also choose to make a donation, which will go directly to buying the bikes. Richland's Hops and Drops is donating their bikes to Mo's Place, a local foster care facility. As for the Kennewick location, we spoke with a woman who tells us where they're donating the bikes and why.
Every year we do the Bikes for Tykes. This year we're giving them to two organizations, which is very dear to all of our hearts. It's for domestic violence families and then also for parents to parents. Every child should feel special on Christmas, and the bikes is a great way of doing that.
Kennewick only needs 2 more bikes to reach their goal, but Block says any excess will be held onto for next year's Bikes for Tykes fundraiser. As for Richland, you have until December 20th to donate either cash or a new bike. Now, Jefferson, let's talk weather here. I got to say, and we were talking about this right shortly during the Blue Bridge story. We were talking about how the Blue Bridge looks, pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, the painting looks really good. And honestly, like the people that were out there doing it in such kind of crappy conditions, like kudos to them.
Yeah, on occasion, they certainly did deal with adverse weather conditions. I mean, they were out there the whole year. They had to deal with snow towards the beginning of last year, or towards the beginning of this year, I should say, and then they've kind of just gone full circle because they have been out there the whole year. Now, today is going to be a winter-like feeling day, even though we are a couple of days away from the official start of winter. Daytime highs are going to be varied across the forecast area, everything from mid-30s all the way to mid-40s. Now, in the Yakima and Kittitas valleys, I do anticipate some snow mixed with rain today, maybe even a small chance of some freezing rain in isolated locations. For the Tri-Cities, Walla Walla, and Pendleton, it'll just be a good soaker of a day. I will talk about, or I should say we shall discuss, the Storm Tracker Futurecast coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. The time now is 5:09. Coming up on KEPR KIMA this morning, tensions are running high in the city of Mapton. An unresolved budget, an empty police department, and issues with the mayor. Residents not holding back at this week's meeting as the city falls into a financial crisis. In about 2 minutes, we'll dive into the situation. But later in the show, with days until the next recess on Capitol Hill, Congress is racing to avoid a government shutdown. A continuing resolution is expected, but both chambers must approve it by Saturday, in the House getting the lion's share of time before it heads to the Senate. We'll talk that when we get to national news. Stay with us.